Greetings, programs. I am the Death Star Skeet Shooter, and welcome back to the only thing that people watch on my channel. Reaction videos. Even though I wanted to do a gaming channel. With reaction videos on the side, granted, but that's not the point I'm trying to make here. Got a new painting. Well, it's not new. I thought you could see it when I'm sitting here like this, but then when I was about to record, I noticed that my head completely blocked it. So I was going to, yes, I got a new painting, but I had to get out of the way for you to see it. It's not actually a new painting. I've had it for a while. Had it since childhood. My parents decided to get rid of it. I decided to keep it. It's been sitting at the side of my bed this entire time. And I finally got it up. Don't know why I waited this long. But, yeah, what I was saying before. I wanted to do a gaming channel. But the thing is, I don't have that much money on my Steam account because I impulse bought a lot of the games that I had always wanted to play, like BioShock and Half-Life and Portal. But none of those games are relevant, so none of my gaming videos get any views. So apparently I'm a reaction channel now. But for all one of you who actually cares about my gaming videos, the one is me, the next episode of BioShock Infinite will be up shortly. It's just that video was really long, and it would take a while to upload, because I live in the middle of nowhere, and Wi-Fi sucks here. So instead, I decided to do a Nostalgia Critic video. I also recently got a Twitter account. I couldn't put my whole name in there, so I just put Death Star Skeet. So this video will be the first video that I post on there, so that's something. But I'm really excited about this video because I love Nostalgia Critic, hilarious guy, amazing critic. Personally, critique, I think, is just as important, if not more important, than the actual act of creating a piece of media, because those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. So critics, although they're often criticized themselves by the people who create as being too harsh and whatsoever, are very important for bad movies and good movies alike, so that we can look back and learn from our mistakes. And this is the first time I'm going to be doing a reaction video of a Nostalgia Critic review of a movie that I've actually seen that I actually like. Unlike my reaction videos to Country Bears and to Donnie Darko. Check out those videos if you haven't. I don't have an editor. I don't know why I'm pausing for the ding. If I ever get fans, I'll ask them to... If I ever get fans and money and an editor, I know, pipe dreams. If I ever do, I'm going to come back to this video and have the editor edit in a little, like, cartoony tooth sparkle on my yellow teeth. Anyways, I have nothing else to say, so let's get right into the review. First time viewing.
This episode brought to you by ExpressVPN, the best VPN there is. Take back your online privacy today.
Nice. That is amazing. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. X-Month. Okay.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. And welcome to X Month. We don't have a doorbell, so I better check that out. Oh God, what are you doing here? And how'd you make that doorbell sound?
It's one of his many gifts. Do we trust you remember babysitting our teenage nephew today?
We warned you about it 5 months ago. Yeah, but I moved studios hoping you wouldn't find me. We have eyes everywhere.
Literally.
The more I find out about you, the less I somehow know.
We don't actually know when we're going to be done, so best play it by ear.
What, do you have some important stuff to do and you can't drag him along with you?
We just don't like spending time with him. Isn't that right, buddy?
I don't care.
Dude, you can't just leave him here indefinitely. So, what do you like?
I don't care.
Is the following routine just gonna be you answering I don't care to every question?
I don't care.
Well, if I know modern parenting, just putting a screen in front of you is the best way to raise you. So 2 screens must be better. You just play on your phone while I watch the first X-Men movie.
X-Men? You mean like the Marvel comics?
Yeah?
I love Marvel comics.
Yeah? What do you think about the Marvel movies?
They're amazing. They're like the comics come to life.
Oh my god, well, you're gonna love this movie then.
Yeah?
When this film came out, every X-Men fan went nuts.
So this is a really great and faithful Marvel adaptation.
That's what everyone said at the time. And seeing how that was almost 20 years ago, and the landscape for comic book movies has barely changed at all, I think we're both in for a lot of surprises.
Hey, I like this movie. I get what you're saying. I see that's a bit dated, but so
When
is
X-Men
X-Men
came
in
out,
general.
there was little faith in it. With the exception of Blade, comic book movies at the time were seen more and more as a big joke. Ever since Batman and Robin left a bad mark in everybody's rubber anuses, comic book flicks were shown very little dignity and even less ticket sales. So when the loud and bombastic yet still poignant and challenging X-Men comic was given the big screen treatment, it was not given much of a budget, or even much credibility. Even the trailer has sort of a B-movie sci-fi channel feel to it. It looked pretty corny.
I've never seen
But
that
thankfully,
trailer,
the
but it does
movie
look
didn't
pretty
suck,
corny.
which immediately meant it was amazing! Critics praised how they weren't laughing at a comic book film, which back then was pretty rare. And fans loved seeing a certain amount of dignity, oh hell, any amount of dignity, given to one of the greatest comic book series ever made.
But it's not like Doctor Strange where they made the Ancient One into a Celtic woman, or like Iron Man 3 where they made the Mandarin not an alien. It's so annoying when they change stuff like that.
Well, again, I haven't watched it in almost 20 years, but seeing how people look back on it so fondly, it has to be a great
I
adaptation.
watched it recently,
excited.
and I think it's
So am
pretty
I.
good.
Let's go back to the
Just
year
saying.
2000 when people really knew how to do comic book movies. This is X-Men.
I get the joke you're going for, but the movie
Ooh,
is
the
pretty
X
good.
shined! That means they're aware of the title.
Mutation.
The Final Frontier. We open on a brief narration and, wait, early 2000s movie, I'm guessing quick, fast, blurry shit? You know, this really was the cinematic equivalent of the upside-down visor. Every time you see it, you're so glad it's dead. And thus, we open this action-packed comic book superhero movie with a concentration camp.
The way-
Na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, looks like they're going all the way with this, keeping the backstory of classic X-Men villain, Magneto, totally in check. With his parents being killed in the Holocaust, discovering his mutant powers of magnetism at a young age, and creating his hatred for humanity during one of the worst times in humanity's history. At a time when the most recent comic book movie was Mystery Men, this was a ballsy start.
Yeah.
Wow, that really is faithful.
Oh, you bet. Just look at the next scene that takes place in the not-too-distant future, where we're introduced to Rogue, played by Anna Paquin.
Only a few hundred miles to Anchorage.
Rogue.
Uh-huh.
That's Rogue.
Uh-huh.
The 20-something, super strong, confident, one-liner spewing badass that sucks people's energy.
Close. Now she's a teenager who cries a lot, is super depressed, and can only suck people's energy.
So not Rogue.
Hey, come on. I mean, Rogue was a tortured character.
Yeah, but she was still cool because she was confident. She had one of the cruelest powers. She could never touch anyone without sucking their life away. But she turned that angst into something kick-ass, not taking shit from anyone, socially or physically. You could look up to her because even though you knew she was suffering, she still chose to be positive and full of hope. That's what made her one of the coolest X-Men.
Well, sure, if you want to be right, but this character has a lot to look up to.
Fair enough.
Like what?
Good point.
Her angsty face that looks like she's trying not to shit her pants.
You are amazing. Doug, seriously, you are an amazing
Now
human
that's
being.
something I can be inspired by.
Your
See, she's inspiring me already.
comedic timing and your
Okay, in all fairness,
ideas
Rogue's
are
not a
hilarious.
bad character here. She still has depth and is acted very well. It's just not Rogue. As the film continues, though, we get more faithful interpretations like Charles Xavier, played by Patrick Stewart, Jean Grey, played by Famke Janssen, and Senator Kelly, played by George Costanza's boss.
Are mutants dangerous?
I propose a poem about Susan's death. This senator thinks the evolution of humans, or mutants as they're called, are a growing threat because their heightened powers are becoming more frequent and powerful.
A girl in Illinois who can walk through walls. Now, what's to stop her from walking into a bank vault?
Okay, can anyone really be taken seriously in front of that Willy Wonka golden ticket mural? She's looking like the Virgin on the top.
Where do you come up with this
Kaiser
stuff? And
Sose.
why
Oh, I
am
mean
I
Magneto.
not
Walking away.
1/15
He's played by
as
Ian
funny?
McKellen.
What are you doing here? Why do you ask questions to which you already know the answer?
Comedy.
And
that's
which
the
one of
mutant
us is talking
superpower.
right now? I confuse us both a lot.
You're sneaking around in here, Charles. Whatever are you looking for?
Well, if you're looking for mental images in my head, take a gander at this. Oh, there's plenty more gay Middle-earth porn where that came from. This baby's loaded with them. I'm goddamn Gandalf. Meanwhile, Rogue's powers drain the life out of her boyfriend. Or he just found out he signed on to 3 Resident Evil movies. And she leaves her home in the south and runs away to northern Alberta? Christ, to hitchhike that far, you need the thumbs of Uma Thurman from Even Cowgirls Get the Blues.
I thought you said you were going to take me as far as Laughlin City.
This is Laughlin City.
What was even her plan? Take the absolute zilch money she had and Jack Dawson the world on a drawing in a dream?
If she could fly, that'd make more sense.
Yeah, we know what you think. Well, maybe this cage fight bar can further her travels.
All my years, I've never seen anything like this.
He can sing, he can dance, he can host the Oscars, yet somehow he's still a credible badass.
That's a good point.
This is for Kate Leopold. This is for Pan. This is for not getting Russell Crowe to drop out of Les Mis.
If you're still disappointed they didn't do Rogue right, check out this introduction.
I love this. That is perfect for Wolverine. Wolverine is the coolest superhero ever.
Did I just turn gay?
From frame 1, Hugh Jackman got Wolverine down perfect.
Yeah.
It's the same when Michael Keaton was Batman,
Yeah.
and Christopher Reeve was
Yeah.
Superman.
Exactly.
You didn't see an actor portrayal.
It's
You
the
saw a
reason the
childhood
movie is so
hero
good.
come to life.
I'll admit the
Sure,
movie's
there's no
goofy, but-
mask or costume.
I'll admit the movie is goofy, and the leather outfits, why? But he's right. Hugh Jackman makes this movie. Just like the Superman the movie wasn't perfect, but that Christopher Reeve's portrayal was perfect, and it made the movie. It made it. This is the same thing. It's goofy. It's not fully faithful to the comics, but Hugh Jackman makes it. And that's all I have to say about that.
But the overload of adrenaline and testosterone is so heavy, it just turned us into steaks.
I'm a steak.
And that's okay.
Accurate.
He wins the fight as Rogue hangs around
If I had an editor, I would have done the
the
same.
bar, not exactly knowing what to do.
I'll have the beer.
Yeah, I hear I'm supposed to be teamed up with this rogue bombshell who has the hots for me and can suck me dry. Oh god, you're not her, are you?
Logan fights off Steve Wilco, but can't help but sense teen angst in the air.
I'm sorry. I needed a ride. Thought you might help me.
What the hell are you doing?
I mean, you call that a southern accent? It's not nearly as consistent as my Canadian accent, eh? He does decide to give her a bit of a break, though, and the two of them seem to form a bond. She even over time starts to see him as a protective role model.
The first boy I ever kissed ended up in a coma. I can still feel him. And it's the same with you.
Wait a minute. An insecure teen runaway that looks up to Wolverine? That's Jubilee.
No, it's, totally Rogue.
It's Jubilee, man. Now that's 2 characters I'm never gonna see done right.
No, that they have her in the movies, like, there, and there, and in the 80s somehow. Okay, look, clearly they want to do like what they did in the cartoon, with the young newcomer being introduced to the team, serving as the audience.
But it's Wolverine who's focused on when the X-Men are introduced.
Well, that's not, but yeah. But at the same time, she has a much more tragic power. She can't touch anything. What a great metaphor
Wolverine
for
is
teen
immortal.
angst.
So change the power, not the character. They could have replaced her with Jubilee and made her powers blow up everything she touches, so she still couldn't make contact with anybody. In
Good
fact,
point.
Kitty Pryde has a cameo in this, and she's a teenager that can disappear through walls. Not being seen is a far better metaphor for teen angst. You could have done either of those faithfully and then save Rogue for another movie where she can
Good
be
point.
older, badass, and fly.
Now, you, listen here, young man. I will not have you badmouth what me and my college friends chose to ignore.
Whatever. I'm gonna go back to playing Tinder Fortnite.
Wait, you're gonna miss one of the greatest rivalries ever! You see, after a tree falls in front of him, he suddenly smells spear gum in the air.
Whoa, is that Sabretooth?
Damn right, that's Sabretooth! One of the greatest rivalries of all time is Wolverine and Sabretooth.
Yeah.
It's been going on for years in the comics, cartoons, games. It's a classic feud. And now we're gonna see it explored here in the movie.
Or he runs away like a bitch.
Hey, give him time. They have a lot of other characters to establish.
Establish and ruin.
I don't like you. Well, after that quote-unquote battle, Wolverine has a much more terrifying nightmare to face. Waking up without his clothes and being back in school, while also being cast in Australia.
That's a good point.
My pleasure.
Bye, Kate.
He hasn't...
I look forward to you being recasted twice.
So Wolverine is introduced to Xavier and the X-Men who saved him. Cyclops, played by James Marsden, and Storm, played by Halle Berry.
What is up with that wig? It looks awful.
Doesn't look that bad.
She looks like Gothica Queen of Dragons.
Okay, look here. If you keep laughing like that, you're gonna miss the incredible romance that Rogue has.
Oh, wait, she meets Gambit?
I'm Bobby.
Iceman is her love interest?
Not comic accurate, but this movie was my introduction to these characters, so I like it fine.
Well, technically, it's Ice Boy.
What the hell? They're one of the coolest couples in comic history, and you totally could have made Gambit a teenager. With how rebellious he is, that would have worked fine. I thought you were an X-Men fan.
I am!
Then how are you okay with this?
Look, you weren't there, man. We grew up with Shaq as Steel. Steel! So Xavier shows Logan that he runs a school.
The cuts are amazing. Doug, whoever your editor is, you need to pay him more, because the cutoff with Steel was... The cutoffs in all your videos are hilarious. Why am I addressing him directly? He's not going to see this. No one watches my videos.
For Young Mutants. And admittedly, it is a little weird that Rogue is just immediately tossed in a class. Oh, you're a runaway who just had your life threatened? Get to history class.
Don't you even want to call my parents?
History class.
Welcome to Mutant High.
Aw, it's a nice sculpture of dog shit. It looks even more realistic when it starts to melt.
But the school is merely our public face. The lower levels, however, are an entirely different matter.
I'm still not sure how I got government funding for a military aircraft. Most public schools can't even afford erasers. You know, I think it's the chair. I play the pity card pretty high.
Meanwhile, looks like Senator Kelly is off to greet more fans, but his helicopter...
If you're gonna play the comic book inaccuracy card, but then make a joke about how Xavier got the plane and everything when he's loaded beyond belief, you don't really have a leg to stand on, do you? Just saying.
is hijacked by Magneto's goons, a mutant named Toe, played by Ray Park, and a shapeshifter named Mystique, played by Rebecca Romaine.
I assume she's not Rogue's mother.
Why do you ask questions you already know the answer to? My greatest fantasy is terrifyingly come true! They take him to Magneto's hideout at the former location of Fire Festival, where Magneto has plans for him.
Are you a God-fearing man, Senator? That's such a strange phrase.
I'm a Gods and Monsters fan myself.
In one of the film's more brilliant additions, Magneto makes a machine that's sort of a gay convergence reversal where a person is transformed into a mutant.
What do you intend to do to me?
Let's just say God works too slowly.
I'm going to pray your humanity away.
The only downside? Christ, that is such a boring looking effect. If I was to tell you a giant beam encases you and transforms you into something else, you'd be excited to see that. This just looks like Gozer's fishing net. It's actually making me miss sky portals. Sky portals! Meanwhile, Wolverine and Jean get to know
Dude, you can't take that back.
each other better.
Where's your room?
With Scott down the hall.
Was that your gift, putting up with that guy?
I mean, he hasn't had a line yet, but the comic says we hate each other.
I can move things with my mind.
Really? What kinds of things?
I also do amazing things with my thighs. But Logan dares her to read his mind.
So read my mind.
I'd rather not.
She refuses, and then immediately does it. What, did he mentally convince her and we couldn't hear it?
Read my mind.
I'd rather not.
Please, 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 please.
What do you see?
Scott.
Look, I thought of him naked once. Oh.
You gonna tell me to stay away from me, girl?
Well, if I had to do that, she would.
I thought of him naked once.
Wouldn't be my girl.
So I guess there is a little development of Cyclops and Wolverine's feud, but it once again kind of comes out of nowhere and isn't focused on much to feel genuine. In the cartoon, their personalities are so well defined, one always following the rules, the other breaking them. But here, we know so little of what Cyclops is like. We just know he wears Tom Cruise shades, so I guess that instantly makes us hate him. You know, it's weird that the best rivalry in this superhero movie is between the two old guys who rarely see each other. In the middle of the night, Wolverine has a flashback about where he came from. Rogue tries to wake him, but he's not a morning person.
Somebody help!
She absorbs his healing power, resulting in her body getting better, and I guess the holes in her PJs, too.
Is she alright?
She'll be all right.
Yeah, you're under arrest for stabbing a student. Oh, wait, I forgot. We're on Hogwarts rules. Anything flies in this damn school.
Meanwhile, with Kelly's new mutant abilities, he photoshops himself free and swims to shore. And I gotta say, with all the cool powers you could have given him, British sunbathing is not one of the more impressive ones. Even Stan Lee here is like, boy, when I envisioned X-Men as a movie, this is not the imagery that came to mind. Meanwhile, Mystique disguises herself as Bobby to tell Rogue to take her Fiona Apple wardrobe out of here.
Where is she?
Who?
Rogue. She's gone.
She's gone row. I almost said it.
Xavier uses a device called Cerebro to psychically locate her. Oh, I do hope this means more palettes of gray. It's not like the X-Men ever had much color in it. He locates her, and Wolverine decides to steal Cyclops' bike to find her.
Oh, that bike is amazing!
Right?
How many action scenes is it in?
Well...
That's what I thought.
Hey, this is exciting! X-Bike!
Hey, kid.
Get to history class.
What do you say? Give these geeks
Good
one
call
more
back,
shot.
dude.
Wolverine convinces Little Green Riding Hood to come home while Cyclops and Storm search for her in the train station.
Come along now. I told you.
We don't talk to people with Viewmaster eyes. But things heat up when Magneto and Sabretooth attack.
Alright, so we're gonna finally see Wolverine and Sabretooth go at it. Sabretooth is going after Storm, and Magneto is going after Wolverine? It should be the other way around! Magneto and Storm should be tossing things at each other, and Wolverine and Sabretooth should be clawing each other's faces off. We're halfway through, and the greatest rivalry ever hasn't even been built up at all. Him and Mystique barely even talk. I can see why they're called mutants, because half of them are friggin' mute!
You damn kids! With your Marvel movies refusing to fix what's not broken! In my day, Spawn took orders from a Muppet aardvark, and we liked it! Well, no, we hated it, but we liked hating it!
Tell yourself whatever you want to, man. I'm going to watch the Avengers Endgame trailer again.
You know Mistress Death isn't in there. Phony movie! Phony movie!
So that's what his parents do all the time.
Hello?
Where are you?
Well, where are any of us, really?
Look, you need to come here and collect your kid. He's an absolute menace.
Really? What did he do?
He's not liking the X-Men movie.
Could be worse, dude.
Oh, no.
I mean, look.
Oh, yes. You come here and pick him up ASAP.
Well, that's gonna be pretty tricky, Critic, because I fell asleep chasing a puppy who swallowed government secrets.
You pick him up!
Fine, God. Just be there at 5 and I'll come get him.
But the movie will be over by then.
There's more important things than movies, Critic, like finding a cure for an STD that you yourself created.
Fine, just be here at 5.
Good. Oh, by the way, do you know of anyone who can cure an STD that you eat?
Come, darling, there's so many more prostitutes to bring back to life.
Goes with him. Dude, how do you come up with these ideas? They're absolutely hilarious.
Hey, how's it going? Ever heard about this game called League of Legends?
Again,
well, you're hearing about it now.
Comedic
Check it out. Each game you get put into a team of
is a mutant power all on its own. Somebody needs to go to Xavier's school for special writers.
Shopping, I love shopping, I love shopping, I love shopping, I love... What? I just bought 72 copies of the smash hit drama Oranges Due Taxes, but I don't even like 72 copies of the smash hit drama Oranges Due Taxes unless somebody hacked my credit card information while I was shopping online! Wait a minute, that can't happen because I have ExpressVPN. Without a VPN, your credit card information is wide open to
Non-ExpressVPN simulation of... What? How are you this creative? It makes me angry that I'm not this creative.
hackers when you're doing online shopping. If a hacker discovers your information online, they can spend your money and access your shopping accounts, all because you didn't have ExpressVPN protection. That's because ExpressVPN encrypts your internet data, preventing others from sniffing your information over the network. So you can shop online with peace of mind thanks to ExpressVPN. They have the fastest speeds, consistently faster than other VPN providers.
Seriously, between this and the Dollar Shave Club thing where he's like actually shaving the dollar, you are too creative to do anything. Just way too creative. Like, the creativity for your ads alone is mind-boggling. How are you not, like, a millionaire? Seriously. This video alone contains more creativity than like half of Hollywood right now.
Locations in 94 countries, giving you plenty of options to choose from. Apps for every device, including Windows, iOS, Android, Mac, Linux, router, and more. And it's easy to use. You just connect with one click. It's internet without restrictions. Securely stream or download content from anywhere, anytime. It's also the market-leading VPN, rated the #1 VPN service by TechRadar. I use it because I shop online all the time like you probably do, and I want my information protected as much as possible, so that everything's all good. ExpressVPN is less than $7 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So take back your internet privacy today and figure out how you can get 3 months free by clicking on the link in the description box. ExpressVPN.com/nostalgiacritic. Take back your internet privacy today with ExpressVPN, so everything can be all good, all good, all good, all good. ExpressVPN, the best VPN there is. Take back your online privacy today. Hey everybody, just letting you know we're gonna be at C2E2 in Chicago. That's me, Brad Jones, Rob, Malcolm, Tamara, and a whole bunch of the Channel Awesome gang are gonna be there. We also have a panel, Movies Everybody Disagrees With You On, where you get to talk about the movie that everybody, well, disagrees with you on. It's your panel, it's a lot of fun. We've gotten a booth at this con a ton of times, it's a lot of fun, and we'll see you there. So Magneto rips the train apart as Wolverine tries to stop him.
You must be Wolverine. I'm a giant soup can.
What the hell do you want with me?
Whoever said I wanted you? You're not my type. I prefer redheads. Blue redheads.
It looks like he's after Rogue instead of Wolverine, and he knocks her out cold.
Young people.
Always tried to run away from needles being thrown at them. What a weird line. The cops tried to stop them, but that's just awesome.
Yeah.
He points their own guns at them, but Xavier controls the minds of Sabretooth and Toad to stop him.
What do you wonder for? Can't you read my mind?
You forgot my shielded magic helmet.
You'll have to kill me, Charles.
I'm sorry, I think you're confused. I'm, got the actor's name, dang it. Why do I always forget information? See, this is why I'm not good at comedy. But Xavier would be Elmer Fudd in this scenario. That's the joke I was going for. Before my brain decided to go, nope. And I apparently spontaneously forgot the actor's name, even though I've seen all the X-Men movies. I've seen every episode of Next Generation. Why can't I remember his name?
I don't think I can stop them all.
Hey, I have a better idea. Why don't you use Sabretooth, who you're controlling at the moment, to take off his helmet so you can read/control his mind? But the friggin' professor can't figure that one out, as he just lets Magneto go.
I thought you lived at a school.
Why'd you do that in his voice? You could have just said, I thought you lived at a school. Why'd you do that?
Just be sure you bring her back in time for history class.
Just as the X-Men are about to go...
What's this history class thing all about? History class. You're a runaway. History class. Rogue, I found you on this train. History class. What is...
Looking for him, they get an unexpected visitor. Can I interest you in Bigot Scout cookies?
Bigot Scout.
Well, I'm not saying I'm enjoying this. I'm relishing it.
I could have seen him do that. He is perfectly intimidating enough to do that.
So Xavier reads his mind to reveal what we already know, so it's pointless to show again. As Storm tries to comfort Senator Jelly Donut.
Senator Jelly Donut.
Don't want to be alone.
All right.
You know, even Storm kind of sucks.
Yeah, even back then I thought that. I mean, Halle Berry can turn in some great performances, but she's not really an image of commanding strength. You look at Storm and you see a goddess of lightning, a presence that demands authority. This Storm acts like a nervous high school counselor on her first day.
You hate normal people.
I suppose I'm afraid of them.
Can you imagine if one of the guards from Black Panther played that role?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
But then we wouldn't have Halle Berry's amazing African accent.
Logan, you can't do this alone. Hang on to something. Help us. Fight with us. Where are you going? Has brown hair?
Am I allowed to say that sucks?
You are.
It sucks.
Hard.
Yeah.
So the Senator turns into a melting sperm as his body rejects the mutation. Xavier tries to use Cerebro to find Rogue, but it looks like Mystique infected the machine. Using, oh no, green goo! That's always bad in movies! Xavier is knocked out, and after, let's see, 2 sentences of Cyclops talking to Xavier in the entire movie, we suddenly get a monologue about how close they are.
You can still hear me, can't you? You've taught me everything in my life that is ever worth knowing. That if anything happens, I'll take care of them.
Aw, they cut away before he sang to him.
I've been dreaming of a true love's kiss.
But Jean uses Cerebro to locate them as Magneto readies his, oh god, G.I. Joe bomb! Batteries aren't included!
Magnificent, isn't she?
Are you going to kill me?
Yes.
Wow. He just said it. You don't see that happen in movies.
Fair
His
enough.
bedside manner is on par with Arnold from True Lies.
Are you going to kill me?
Yep.
Magneto is here, Liberty Island. His objective is to mutate the world leaders at the UN summit on Ellis Island.
You know, for the not-too-distant future, maps are becoming very impractically stupid. Wait, I'm gonna put my face on it. You see? You see the funny face it made? You see? Maps!
What about Harbor Patrol? Radar. If they have anything that can pick up our jet, they deserve to catch us.
Or you could let them know there's a mutant terrorist at the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, why are they doing this alone? I mean, I know there's prejudice, but if you just say a mutant is about to wipe out the world's leaders, I think some military would get there pretty quick. Maybe then you can fight them with a ton of backup and not leave an entire school unmanaged without an adult.
Good point.
Oh, it's okay. Every kid's just a nuclear time bomb, not always aware how not to explode.
You actually go outside in these things? What would you prefer? Yellow spandex?
Next, you'll be telling me in another Marvel film, a raccoon will be firing a machine gun. Oh, ha! Yellow spandex. Gotta love the sick architect who designed this. The giant jet comes out of the freaking basketball court. They don't give a shit about the children's safety. Imagine some kids just want to play midnight basketball.
Oh, I'm gonna whoop your ass good, Billy!
No, you're the one that's going down.
Yeah.
Hey, you're finding more things wrong with the movie, huh?
Well, maybe when I see what kids grow up with comic book movies today and how much more faithful they are, I feel a little jealous about what we got. I mean yellow spandex. No, that wouldn't work in this more realistic world you created. But then neither do all these plot holes that were originally designed for a bombastic comic universe instead of a down-to-earth one. Yellow spandex would work in Watchmen, in Avengers, and eventually even in later X-Men movies. Yeah? I'm realizing more and more what they chose to take out and leave in doesn't always match the style and tone they created for this universe.
Well, I'm sure that's what they could do at the time.
But why didn't they just go all out? Why didn't they make a comic book movie? We all know we're gonna see a comic book movie, so why didn't they make a comic book movie? We knew what we were in for.
It looks like some good action's coming up.
Who cares?
No, look, let's see.
So Magneto gets ready to transfer his power to Rogue so she can use the device to transform everybody into a mutant, draining all the life out of her.
Once I give my power to the girl, I'll be temporarily weakened.
Aren't all men. That's why we leave immediately afterwards. The Blackbird lands, I
really,
guess not so elegantly.
Sorry? You call that a landing?
Call that a punchline? Thankfully, Mystique went to mime school as she stands ridiculously still as they walk past her, and then she takes on Logan's form to attack. They just recreate what Hugh Jackman does in the mirror every morning. So this fight scene is a little odd. On the one hand, the battle between Mystique and Logan is actually pretty cool and creative, though I didn't know Spider-Manning up the walls was one of her powers. However, the X-Men battling Toad seems a little weak because, well, it's the X-Men battling Toad. Who gives a shit? How could they not take this guy out in a millisecond? Look at this. Storm can control the weather. The friggin' weather! Master of the elements! What does she do? I'm gonna go for a stroll. I'll take my time to admire the architecture and, oh no, face my hand, politely gesturing you to stop. I politely gestured! They're so pathetic, he even has time to do a little dance. What the hell even was that?
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring.
I've actually seen that cartoon. I love all of it.
Of course! The natural energy of an elevator shaft obviously brings her powers to life!
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Oh my god, I'm dying on that! I said lines by George Lucas that had more charm! Lucas!
How's he yelling underwater?
We have to regroup.
By the way, that odd line there, from what I understand, originally Toad was going to have a running gag throughout the movie where he'd ask people if they knew what happened to a toad when it was struck by lightning. And then that was her sort of comeback at him. But they edited down the movie, or maybe they just edited it out completely or never shot those scenes. So those original setups aren't in there, but they can't edit out the death line of one of the characters, so you have a completely out of place line.
The other one ain't far away.
Well, gee, seeing how these two characters haven't been together for a while, I wonder if one of them...
You're not part of the group.
At least I really hope so. Okay, we're good. They make it to the statue, but Magneto uses his powers to make them act backwards and captures them. Wolverine uses his claws to break free, though, and we have the, most epically built-up fight ever. You know, it's not even like you even needed that much between them. Just an occasional line here or there, an angry glare.
Good point.
You know, like in Waterworld or Die Hard or Total Recall. Just a little interaction to build up the hatred between them.
Yeah.
And we get none of that. One of the coolest comic book rivalries ever, reduced down to just two guys hitting each other.
Yeah, I'll admit, after seeing the movie and getting into the X-Men and going through all this other X-Men media, I came back to the movie thinking about this being much more epic and satisfying, but no, it does bother me, I'll admit it. After knowing Wolverine and Sabretooth's rivalry, it does bother me a bit, but hey, they didn't think this would be more than one movie, so...
Big friggin' whoop.
Oh, come on, the fight's not that bad.
Even that's kinda lame. It's a battle on top of the Statue of friggin' Liberty, yet it looks like a stage set from the movie Chicago. I mean, look at this dated-ass effect. Why, wherever did the switch from CGI to live action happen? I simply cannot tell. Hitchcock did a fight on the Statue of Liberty decades earlier, and not only did it feel more grand in scale, but somehow it felt like it had more color than the actual color movie did.
But look, he says bub, just like in the comics.
Hey, bub, I'm not finished with you yet.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. Though why does it look like the Statue of Liberty has a Wolverine earring? And look, after Storm warp whistles him to the top, we still have to see that radioactive egg drop soup effect almost consume the city.
But it ends on a nice note. Look, a figurative and literal touching scene where Logan gives his power to save Rogue.
Come on, kid. You don't want to miss history class.
Look, it's nice. It almost kills him, so he was willing to sacrifice himself for her.
I guess. Actually, Jesus, this poor guy spends half the movie friggin' passed out. Narcoleptics have their eyes open more than him. So Magneto is arrested, and Mystique somehow survives 3 knives to the chest. Yeah, nobody dies in these movies, and somehow everybody dies in these movies. And she takes over the identity of Senator Kelly.
Mystique.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, if that eye thing was on screen for a frame and they paused it at just the right moment, I could see maybe people not catching on to it. But look how long it goes after.
From many parents' rights groups.
How did everybody miss that?
Senator, there's concerns you're turning into Jar Jar Binks.
That's absurd. Oh, I mean, at least Miss another mutant.
Actually, Binks is worse.
Okay, got it. Everyone manages to heal up, and Xavier gives Logan the location of where he might find some answers about his past. So he's off, but not before saying goodbye to Rogue.
I kind of like it.
It reminds me of how I almost died.
I don't want you to go.
I'll be back for this.
No, I gotta take a leak and I hate wearing it in the bathroom. Just hold on to it before I leave you forever. Finally, we see the only real rivals in this movie sequel bait the hell out of this series.
Doesn't it ever wake you in the middle of the night? The feeling that someday they will pass that foolish law and come for you.
Well, it's American politics and nothing ever gets accomplished, so probably not.
Good joke.
The war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it. And I will always be there. Old friend.
Unless I die a couple times and or wipe out all mutants off the face of the earth. But you know, these movies are pretty consistent. I can't see that happening.
They exit via giant condom, and I guess the most authentic X-Men movie has finally wrapped up. Wow. You know, you were totally right. When you compare it to comic book movies today, this isn't nearly as impressive as I remember it.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah? How? As an adaptation, it doesn't have the color, imagination, or depth of characters. As a standalone movie, it's kind of bland with a ton of plot holes. Apparently there was 15 minutes cut from it, and it really shows. It just kind of feels like we go from scene to scene.
We need a director's cut of this movie.
With no big emotional impact ever being made.
Well, okay, I guess that's all true, but look at it this way. When it came out, nobody took comic book movies seriously, mostly because they followed the source material even less than this film did. So attempting to be taken seriously, talking about prejudice, while also trying to be somewhat faithful to a source nobody took seriously was kind of risky. It had to take baby steps, find a middle ground so that future comic book movies could take more chances and risk higher budgets.
Yeah,
sure, the movie's just okay, but being okay back then is what led other comic book movies to being great today. Even if it didn't leave as great a story as you remember, it still left a great impact for comic book movies to follow.
I really like this movie. The only thing that really bothers me is the costumes and Wolverine and Sabretooth's rivalry. Those are the only things that really bother me.
Guess that is a good point. You know, we actually learned a lot with the different comic book movies we grew up with.
Yeah, I guess we did.
I'll be your aunt and uncle. You know, this was actually a much better experience than I thought it was going to be.
I paid the fool that kidnaps my son.
Dad!
Your dad, Mr. T?
There he is. There's the guy that kidnapped your son.
It certainly wasn't us, because we're saying it certainly wasn't us.
That is a foolproof argument. Come here, sucker. I'm gonna kick your ass. Eat my cereal. Pay the fool that don't eat school.
He's a nostalgia critic and he remembers it, but probably not for long.
Yeah, this is your ass, and this is your ass on Mr. T. Any questions, fool? Here's the answer.
Get to history class.
Why? What's with the history class? Okay, I know the rule of 3, but you said it 5 times in that review, and it only got funnier. Get to history class. History class. So yeah, regardless, I think you can see that I really liked this review. I'm glad I didn't wait until tomorrow to make this video. Anyways, you like the video, leave a like. You want to tell me something, leave a comment. And I am open to video suggestions. I'm sorry. Video's already over. Almost over. I'm doing the outro now. Anyways, like the video, leave a like. You want to tell me something, leave a comment. You have a suggestion for a video for me to react to, leave a comment. Because that was sort of my plan for these reaction videos, is that people would watch them, leave comments of suggestions for other videos for me to react to, and that would just keep going onward. Anyways, you don't have to... I suck at this. But you all knew that. So, you don't have to subscribe. YouTubers kind of peer pressure their audience a little bit. I've been on the receiving end of that because YouTube is my life. So you don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. It's just sort of a safety net for you. If I start doing stuff that no one likes and you guys start leaving the channel like rats from a sinking ship, then I'll know to change something, fix stuff. And also, I guess it could make me money, but I'm not making any money off of it now. It's not like I'm dependent on it. So that is all I have to say for today. Huzzah!